Hi, I'm Jeannie. Welcome to Craft Jeannie. Today we're going to make aprons. Now, a few weeks ago we did an apron made out of a pair of denim blue jeans. And we took the front of the jean, decorated it, and made this great little apron. If you didn't see the video, it's on Craft Jeannie. You can go to craftjeannie.weebly.com or go to the Craft Jeannie YouTube channel and look for this one. So we made that apron out of it. Besides the front, I can also use the back of a pair of jeans and make an apron just as cute out of the back of the pair of jeans. So this was all well and good. I'm making all these aprons. But what I kept ending up with was the legs. What do you do with the legs of a pair of blue jeans? I had this one from a pair of guys' jeans. So I decided to go ahead and make something else out of these. So what I decided to do was to make this little sort of a shop apron out of the leg of the jeans. Just a simple little apron, little pocket on it. I actually used ribbon for the tie, so we're going to go ahead and make one of these right now and you can see how it's done. So before you cut up your jean leg, I want you to take a good look at it. There will be a seam down the front like you see down the front of this apron. So if you look at the jeans, you've got an inside seam and you've got an outside seam that has stitching over the top. I like using the stitching over the top as the center of the apron. So we're going to come to this side and we're going to cut it down the middle. Now the other thing to look at too, this is a woman's pair of jeans and it's a little bit wider at the bottom than at the top, so I'm going to use this for the top of the apron and this for the hem of the apron. If you're looking at a pair of man's jeans or a larger pair, you can see it's much wider at the bottom. In that case I would use this as the top and use the width for the bottom. But let's go ahead and work on this one. So I'm going to cut it here right at the seam. You could unsew it if you really want to. No, I'm just going to cut it across the seam line. And open it up. Again, this will be our top, this will be the bottom. This one's a little wide here, so what I will probably do when I sew it is I'll put a little tuck into it so that it's flat across the top. Now, you're going to fold it right down the middle. Now, it doesn't matter where that seam lands, you need this to be even. And we're going to cut what will be the loop here. As you can see, it's narrow here and it curves out to the outside. We're going to cut that here on your piece. The top of your apron is going to be approximately 10 inches across. So I want to, at the fold, measure out 5 inches plus about a ½ inch for a seam allowance because we are going to be hemming the edges. And you want this to come down just about 10 inches, which will put it right about here. And there should be 15 or so inches left on the bottom, 14.5 inches. I could adjust this and make it a little bit smaller if you want to. I'm going to just eyeball this. You can make a little pattern if you want to, but I'm just going to cut it. And as you get close to the bottom, you want to curve off to where it's going to end right about here. Start curving off. Now don't throw these pieces away because we're actually going to use those to make our little pocket here. Nothing goes to waste on this pattern. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine. I'm going to hem the edges here and all the way around. I'll probably put a little bit of trim across the top and then we'll add the straps to it. So let me get to my sewing machine. Now that we've hemmed the apron, we're going to go ahead and make the pocket. You can see here I've hemmed this all the way around. Now remember these two pieces that we cut out here? That's going to be our pocket. The inside of one of my pieces has the seam from the jeans. I'm going to cut that off. It's just more bulk that we don't need. I'm going to sew these together down the back and trim it, and that will be our pocket. So let me go ahead and get this sewn. Okay, I've stitched these two pieces together. You can see here that'll make a nice little pocket. And let's just go ahead and cut this down to a better pocket size. You can curve it, you can cut it straight, whatever suits your fancy. There's our pocket. I'm probably going to put a little trim on it to match the apron. So let me go ahead and get the trim started on this. With this particular one, and let's put it here, I'm going to sew a little bit of red trim across the top of the apron. And red ties. Let me show you how I made the ties. Now these ties, the fabric was 30 inches long by 4 inches wide. I just hemmed it all the way around, and on the end, to make that little apron curve, I just folded one end up, stitch it here, and then you will just flip it inside out. Use something sharp to get your little point there. There's your apron ties. When we go to put them on, you'll put your little pleat, and it'll be sewn right here. For the neck ties at the top, this is 2 inches wide by about 20 inches long. It's going to be sewn under here. And with this one, I just folded it over. Super easy stitch. Folded one end over, folded this one over with a tuck, and just stitched it right down the middle. I'm going to go ahead and sew that one for you now so you can see how that was done. Okay, so to sew this one, we're going to fold one end over. We're going to do a little tuck and fold this end over and just stitch it right down the middle. This little shop apron will take you 15, maybe 20 minutes, depends on how much you want to embellish it, but the apron is done. Let's take a look at it. You can see I added a little trim to the top and to the pocket. When you sew your ties to it, make sure that you double stitch it. I put a little square, sewed it all the way around, no raw edges, because there's going to be some force on that when you tie it, and you want to make sure that you've got extra seams there. So if you really think about it, with one pair of jeans you're going to get 2 shop aprons. You're going to get one of these aprons out of the front of your jeans and a pair of it out of the back of the jeans. So basically one pair of jeans, 4 aprons. I think that's a really good use of upcycling your blue jeans. Hope you have fun with this.